I'm Todd Hanten. I farm with my wife Monica and my two children, Brock and Brittany. I am the fourth generation to farm Hanten's Dairy. One of the things I'm most proud of is this contract or deed for the ground that my great-grandfather homesteaded in 1893. It's signed by President Grover Cleveland back then, and for $1 he was able to homestead 160 acres, had to build a farm on that 160 acres, and start farming. And we're very proud to be able to still live on and be farming those same acres. We farm 3,500 acres of corn, soybeans, and spring wheat, and we have 900 head of cattle on feed year-round. Our soybean crop, we just started harvesting a week ago. It has been excellent. I planted more soybean acres this year than normal because the inputs were less, and I was hoping and saw some potential for the soybean price and crop. I planted less corn because of the uncertainty with ethanol, so I lowered my corn acres this year and increased my soybean acres. I have forward contracted only about 25%, which is abnormal. Normally I have 50% try to forward contract to sell right off at harvest. But this year I built a new bin, and so I have extra storage this year, and so I haven't forward contracted as much as normal, but I plan to possibly market more anyway with these prices. The conditions are excellent, the quality is excellent, everything is working good, the weather has been good, and the moisture of our beans has been about 11% average. We were able to get in and plant earlier than normal this year, had good conditions as well. We didn't get a lot of rain, but we got timely rains. About every time we really were starting to see that we needed it, we would get a nice rain. If they're not record crops for me, soybeans and wheat and corn, they will definitely be in the top 2 or 3 for sure. The yield has been a lot of 60 bushel, which for us is that's the best ever. We've had some 50, but yes, above average and excellent yields. Our proteins and oils have been a little lower, but here in South Dakota we have essential amino acids that are better for feeding. I put up high moisture corn for my cattle. I'll start doing that within the next week, and then we'll wait a few weeks until let the corn dry naturally in the field, and then I'm sure that we're going to be able to harvest corn that's dry enough to go right in the bin. We buy cattle at about 700-800 pounds from farmers or sale barns, or I get private individuals to go buy cattle for me, and then we feed them all the way out till slaughter weight of like 1,400 pounds, and then we sell them directly to the packers. Some people actually have their own cows and have those babies and raise them all the way to slaughter and sell them to the packer. And then there are farmers who only have the cows and raise those calves. They have those cows and their calves out on grass all summer, and then in the fall they take those calves off and they wean them. Sometimes some guys sell them right away. They take them off the mother and then they're sold right away, and then there's usually a producer who will buy those calves, and then they'll sometimes raise them from that 500-pound weight to 700 or 800 pounders, and then they will sell them, and then that's where somebody like me comes in and I buy them from them, and then I feed them all the way out. The cattle business honestly is probably the most risky business of any farming that there is, because to buy those cattle, the 700-800 pounders, will cost you $1,100 to $1,250 per head. So it's a big investment, and they can of course die. The markets fluctuate a lot. Packers are who you have to market them through, and they are very good at their business, getting a price that works for them. And right now the beef business is not very good. There's been losses, some of them significant, especially with the COVID that we went through. On the cattle, we do a mix of packer contracts where we talk to the packer and we get a price, and they'll be done in February. What will you pay us? This is what they'll pay us, plus premiums and discounts if there's good and bad animals. So so we like that a lot because then we know exactly what we're going to get, and we do that on about a third of the cattle so that we know on 1/3 of the cattle we're going to make a little bit of money for sure. The other third of the cattle, I like to do some put options. I always say the basic way to think about it is an insurance policy that if the price of those cattle when I'm going to sell them goes down, I make money on the futures or from the Chicago Board of Trade. And if they go up, I still get to get the up price. So I lose some of my profit that I could have locked in on marketing those cash cattle, but if they do go up, I can make sometimes over $100 per head. And then usually on the other 1/3 of the cattle, I actually just keep them open until the end and hope that I'm going to be able to market them at a profitable price and a good price. Overall, actually, this is going to be a good year for us because of many payments from the government, because of great yields on the corn and soybeans. I just would prefer to be getting my money from trade and from the markets and from demand. Crazy times, unprecedented times, and another year of learning at 57. It's interesting farming, that's for sure.